Hi, my name is Phil Gailey, and I'm doing my second TAP on Constructivism for Education 518. So let's go ahead and get started. So, how does constructivist theory define learning? In Snowden's book, he defines it as meaningful learning occurring when people actively try to make sense of the world, when they construct their interpretation of how things are by filtering new ideas and experiences through existing knowledge structures, according to his book on page 211. He does this in three separate ways. First being social constructivism, in which meaningful learning occurs when people are explicitly taught something and then given the opportunity to use these tools in authentic, real-life social situations. It fosters multiple perspectives to create a new network of interrelated ideas. Secondly, cognitive constructivism, wherein an individual is able to construct knowledge by assimilating it into pre-existing schemes, much like cognitive theory. Critical constructivism is the third part of this, and it is a form of constructivism that seeks to, one, understand why learners from some culture or social group more easily construct knowledge, and two, liberate the learning of students who experience difficulty in school environments so that all students can successfully construct knowledge. It does this by taking the success of some people from particular cultures and applying how they're successful, being critical of that, and applying it to how students having difficulty construct knowledge. Now, this theory has strengths and weaknesses, one strength being that constructive teaching emphasizes guiding, not telling, which Snowden maintains that students are more likely to retain information when they come upon it themselves rather than being told the fact as if it was useless trivia. They have a tendency to retain it more when they come upon the information themselves, when they discover the learning and build upon previous knowledge. Now, a weakness to constructivist theory is the fact that it can be very time-consuming, and success is based largely on teachers fully investing in the core ideas, i.e. situated knowledge, discussion, student-led curriculum, and the learning is grounded in real-life tasks. So, the weakness being that it's very time-consuming and the teacher has to fully invest in the idea. So let's look at how constructivist learning happens in practice. To do this, we're going to look at the video, 4th grade, Canoga Park, from the LMS. This is a lesson from a 4th grade class that exemplifies constructivism. It does this through cognitive apprenticeship, the teacher modeling a cognitive process that students are to learn, and then gradually turning it over to the students as they become more skilled. You can see this in the video, but the teacher not simply lecturing, but beginning by leading, modeling the discussion, then slowly intervening less and less as the students take over. He only stops students to ask new guiding questions from time to time. He also provides multiple perspectives in the fact that knowledge is the result of discussions among students. Students must use multiple perspectives to create a network of new ideas. By taking part in a class discussion, students are able to construct a network of ideas and benefit from each other's knowledge. Students are able to build on their own knowledge as well as the knowledge of the group. He also allows for situated learning, in which students are given tasks set in a realistic context. Realistic context is one in which students must solve a meaningful problem by using a variety of skills and information. This provides a more authentic or real-world learning environment. You can see this in the video when, in the fact that the lesson is more realistic when the instructor poses the question, what would life be like today if the printing press had never been invented? This allows students to relate and contextualize the information. They can then discuss possible solutions to the proposed question, create a larger connection to history by putting one event in the context of the modern world. In this case, asking them what would happen if Gutenberg never invented the printing press. He also encourages students to take responsibility not only for what they learn, but also how they learn. He does this through a think, pair, share activity at the beginning of the lesson to help students compile and share their ideas with one individual before the discussion begins. According to Snowden, this gives them the ability to reflect on their own ideas before going into a larger group and be more effective in their own learning once the discussion actually begins. Now, we saw how the instructor did it at Canoga Park in 4th grade. He did a pretty good job, but what we need to figure out is how do we make it better? How do we improve upon what he already did? Let's talk lesson redesign. We're going to begin with an introductory think, pair, share activities to spark students' interest in the topic. Then begin a discussion with the instructor, first modeling how to present information to the group, then fading into the woodwork as the students continue discussion. What the video didn't provide was a clear learning objective. So before moving on, we'll need to define one. That learning objective being, after a discussion, students will be able to identify how modern communication would be different if the printing press had never been invented. Working with another student, they will compile a list of modern conveniences that may not exist today without Gutenberg's invention. Students will then present their completed list to the class, which will judge the validity of their claims. We will use constructivist ideas in 3 ways to assess learning. The first being the presentation that teaches students to listen to one another and express disagreements. Since the class must judge the validity of each other's work, they can discuss each other's effectiveness in their own learning. They can compare learning and build upon previous knowledge. Secondly, the real-life problem challenges students to stretch their own thinking, and using their prior knowledge, build upon that as they learn. They will create a social environment in which they can learn from each other's prior knowledge and develop new knowledge by filtering it through each other. Lastly, students will be judged by how the class responds to the list they present. This allows them to take responsibility for what they are learning, as well as negotiate their understanding with others. Snowman points out that this is a very important part to critical constructivism on page 220, where students are empowered to take control of their own learning. So, was this new approach effective? Let's take a look. It challenges students to 1. Construct new knowledge upon prior knowledge and create a solution to a problem that is relevant to them. They 2. Filter new ideas provided by their educational networks through previous knowledge to come up with an answer to a complex problem. According to constructivist theory, this is the way students learn most effectively, and with the guidance of their instructor, they can achieve great academic success. Now, constructivism is a very complex theory, and I know that we covered a lot in this video. As you can see by the overarching map, there is a lot here to cover. You can look for extra clues in where I got the information, which is listed in the references portions of this populet. Mainly the Snowman book, Ed Psych, and the video itself retrieved from the 2SC Learning Management System on October 27th, 2015. Thank you very much for watching this video. I apologize for the poor audio quality, and you have a fantastic day.